This year, all eyes are on the French region of Normandy as it prepares to celebrate some major anniversaries. It might not be as well visited as Paris, or as sunny as the south of the country.
But if you come here and explore, you're going to fall in love with this part of France.
It's the place that gave us a king that changed the course of history.
Il devait avoir un fort caractère parce que pour réussir à faire ce qu'il a fait en 1066 ou pouvoir rassembler tous ces hommes, il faut avoir une certaine personnalité. Et c'était sûrement pas un tyran.
It inspired the painter that started a movement that took the art world by storm.
Claude Monet never painted any water lilies.
What?
Yes! He painted the light on top of the lilies.
Whilst 80 years ago, its coastline was at the forefront of a fight for freedom.
I want to say an enormous thank you to all those who have taken part. It was a team effort.
This is the region that's seen it all.
And its stories have all been woven into the tapestry of time.
Whoa! This is so cool.
You have to release the rope.
Yeah, okay.
Until the sail is flapping. You can release, yes.
So the flapping starts.
Yes.
And then from the flapping,
yes,
we bring it in just
a little bit.
to stop.
Yes.
2 centimeters.
Now. Yes.
Ah,
You
look
see,
at me.
The sail is stable. Perfect. Fantastic.
I'm a sailor.
France and England may be neighbours, but in the Middle Ages they were bitter rivals. Mainly thanks to this man, William the Duke of Normandy, who history would come to know better as William the Conqueror. In the year 1066, he left these shores to invade England and set it on a new course of history. William was descended from the fierce Vikings, or Norsemen, who gave Normandy its name. In 2027, Normandy will mark the 1000th anniversary of William's birth, but the preparations for this big occasion have already begun. Lamora was the flagship of William's invasion fleet, and now a historical society in the port town of Honfleur are busy recreating the Viking-style longship that would have carried William, his most trusted knights, their horses and 60 oarsmen to the brutal Battle of Hastings. And there's not a pow at all in sight.
This is me splitting wood in what would be the Norman way of doing it.
Yeah, and with this technique, you can split any tree.
And that is how you split wood, Norseman style.
Jean-Marie is the president of the society and has some big plans for Lamora when she's finished. So it's all about timing. You start now, so the boat is finished for the anniversary.
Ouais. Alors, il est terminé pas tout à fait.
Ouais.
En 2027, on le met à l'eau et il flotte.
Oh, wow.
En tout cas, on espère. We hope.
Yeah.
We hope that. On le met à l'eau pour les festivités de l'anniversaire du duc de Normandie. Ensuite, on le remet à l'intérieur et on finit le bateau, notamment en complétant avec les installations, les équipements modernes, de façon à ce qu'il ait un certificat de navigabilité. Et l'objectif, c'est qu'en 2030, on refasse le voyage et qu'on aille en Angleterre. On ne reprendra pas le trône, mais l'objectif, c'est de retourner en Angleterre, de faire la même épopée que Guillaume le Conquérant.
The team made their plans for the new look Lamora by studying the 70-metre long Bayeux Tapestry. So all of this is the Battle of Hastings?
Yes, it's all the battle. Here is the famous dead of King Harold,
Yeah.
which marks the end of
Where's
the
the
battle.
eye? Where's the arrow in his eye?
Harold is just here. You can see it with the arrow in the eye.
Yeah.
The tapestry was completed in the decade following the Battle of Hastings. Martin is a historian at the Bayeux Museum, whose job it is to study and interpret this priceless artefact.
And on the next scene, you can see that William is taking off his helmet to being recognized as a helmet to show that he is alive and the battle has to continue to the victor.
The story starts with the dying King of England, Edward the Confessor, promising the throne to William. He sends the message to William in France via a trusted nobleman called Harold Godwinson. But when Edward dies, Harold is offered the crown by the Governing Council of England and takes it for himself, ensuing William's rage.
How factual is it?
How factual? It's some representation, you know, of the event of the year 1064, 1066. So it's a story written by the victors, you know, and there is a lot, of course, of what we can call inaccuracy, but also mistake or choice to show some only a point of view of the history.
Yeah.
It's like we can call it a propaganda, you know.
Now over 900 years old, the Bayeux Tapestry has survived major events like the French Revolution and even acted as a potential crib sheet for those looking to invade England as recently as World War II.
Then it was confiscated by the German.
So it did end up in German hands?
It did end up in German hands here in Bayeux. They studied it, and also to know how to invade England, of course.
Really?
But, yes, of course.
So Germany were taking the tips from William the Conqueror's story?
Dives-sur-Mer is the town William left from to invade England. Though I must admit, it's hard to imagine a full-blown invasion force gathered here today.
Wow, look at this place. Where are all the knights in their suits of armour?
I'm meeting Francois, an archaeologist who, like many other Normans, is in love with his history.
Wow.
Hello, Steve.
Wow. Bonjour, salut.
Nice to meet you.
But what is it that separates Normandy from other regions in France? What's so special here?
Bah, écoute, la Normandie, les Normands sont très attachés à leur histoire, une histoire assez mouvementée, hein, avec l'invasion des Vikings à partir du 8e siècle sur les côtes normandes, et puis la fondation du duché de Normandie avec le premier duc Rollon, et également l'arrivée de Guillaume le Conquérant qui va conquérir l'Angleterre en 1066 en partant de Dives-sur-Mer, et pareil les événements de juin 1944 avec le débarquement pour libérer la France.
There is so much history here.
In Dives-sur-Mer, the past isn't just consigned to books and museums. It's part of everyday life. Even the weekly market takes place in a hall that dates back to the 1300s.
This all looks so nice.
Yes.
What have we got here?
C'est de la Turgoule.
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 That doesn't look French.
Non, c'est typiquement normand.
Yeah?
Typiquement normand.
When I think French food, I think cheese, bread. Not this.
Eh si. Tu trouveras ça qu'en Normandie.
Yeah?
Bah, en fait, c'était fabriqué par les villageois. En fait, ils préparaient dans des grandes jattes du riz avec du lait entier, etc. Ils allaient chez le boulanger une fois que le four était éteint. Ils mettaient les jattes en fait dans le four et ça cuisait à faible température, mais pendant 4 à 5 heures. Et c'est délicieux. Tu veux y goûter?
I'd love to, please. Thank you. When the baker finished with his oven, the villagers would make this.
Oui.
Oh, amazing. That's nice, eh? That's nice.
En fait, la liste là, elle a été gravée en 1862 et elle a été établie à partir du Domesday Book, en fait, qui rassemble en fait la liste de tous les compagnons de Guillaume. Donc le graveur s'est inspiré du Domesday Book.
Look, all of these names, the people, it's bizarre. You think just William the Conqueror.
Ah non, oui, mais en fait, Guillaume, quand il est parti en Angleterre, il n'était pas tout seul. Il avait plus de 10 000 hommes avec lui, et là tu as la liste en fait des compagnons qui l'ont accompagné. Alors c'est les principaux personnages, hein, c'est les barons, puis ses amis, mais des membres de la famille, mais c'est sûrement pas les 10 000 personnes qui l'ont accompagné.
Not just soldiers,
Ouais.
archers,
Ouais.
stable boys. There's lots of
Ouais, oui.
people involved.
Et si on devait en fait inscrire tous ces noms sur l'église, il y en aurait partout, partout.
The names featured on the wall are William's top brass, the ones who helped him rule England and that would later become the cornerstone for the country's aristocracy.
William the Conqueror, a national hero. Was he a tyrant, a kind king? What kind of person?
Non, pas du tout, non, surtout pas en fait, non. Alors Guillaume, un héros national, non, parce qu'en fait il est surtout rattaché à l'histoire de la Normandie, mais par contre la Normandie c'était effectivement un personnage extrêmement important. Il devait avoir un fort caractère, parce que pour réussir à faire ce qu'il a fait en 1066, de pouvoir rassembler tous ces hommes, il faut avoir une certaine personnalité, mais c'était sûrement pas un tyran.
Normandy's countryside is, well, let's face it, picture perfect.
And there's only one way to see it. In the passenger seat of a French classic car. Like the Citroën 2CV, French culture has an abundance of style and a certain je ne sais quoi. So it's no surprise France has produced some of the world's finest artists.
2024 is a really important anniversary in the world of art. It's 150 years since the movement of Impressionism was founded, giving the world artists like Monet.
I've come to the Norman village of Giverny. It's famed worldwide as being the home of French artist Claude Monet, who lived here from 1883 all the way up to his death in 1926.
The gardeners here do an amazing job. They must go around with one of Monet's pictures. It's identical.
Patricia is a local artist, and with Giverny being a major tourist attraction in Normandy, she has a sideline running tours around Monet's house and gardens.
Patricia, this place is as pretty as a picture. I think I recognise it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it possible? He painted this place more than 250 times.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So tell me, why did he paint it so many times?
Because he made series of the lights. Yeah, so you see today we have wonderful reflections, and this is what he loved. So he created this garden being inspired by the Japanese art, because at that time in Europe and all over the world, Japan was the new fashion, and Monet became a fashion victim.
Ah, right. So that makes sense. We've got the bamboo, we've got the very Japanese style bridge.
Yes.
Impressionism was groundbreaking. The year 1874 was a time of great change in France. Claude Monet and a group of his friends decided it was time for art to change too. With the opening of new train lines and the invention of paints in tubes, they could leave their studios in Paris and capture places like Normandy on canvas. When they set up their own radical exhibition on their return to the city, a notable critic of the time compared their work to a sketch for a wallpaper pattern, a mere unfinished impression, which gave this movement its name. But looking around this museum in Giverny, it's clear to see who got the last laugh.
How does yours already look better than mine?
Because I'm a painter.
Because you're a painter, yeah. So tell me a little bit about Monet's relationship with Normandy.
Normandy became one of his major subjects because he loved the light changes. You know, Monet was used to say, here the light changes every 7 minutes. And if you look at that today, I think that's true.
Yeah.
Claude Monet never painted any water lilies.
What?
Yes, he painted the light on top of the lilies.
Oh,
You got it?
My mind is blown. I've come to that reflection part now and I don't really know what I'm doing.
In fact, to paint the reflections, you should do vertical lines. This is what Monet made. And look, it's vertical. Can you see?
No. How is yours so different from mine? I don't understand.
Because you have a different style.
I don't have a different style. I can't do it.
It's starting to rain. I think we should better stop. What do you think? Because otherwise, our paintings will be messy. We will never be able to sell them for $1 million.
Okay. Normandy's ever-changing weather's put an end to my lesson, but that is my first and possibly last effort at Impressionism art. It's no Monet, but it's a Steve Brown.
Back here on the coast, scars from Normandy's more recent history can still be felt today.
On June 6th, 1944, 80 years ago, the D-Day landings happened on a stretch of Normandy's beaches.
The objective of D-Day was to secure a foothold in Nazi-occupied Europe. It was the largest naval, air and land operation in history. On that fateful summer's day, the Allies used over 5,000 ships and landing craft to carry more than 150,000 troops to Normandy's beaches. Codenamed Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno and Sword. 4,414 Allied soldiers died on D-Day itself. In 2021, the British Normandy Memorial was opened overlooking Gold Beach. To mark the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings, Dan and his team of volunteers from the arts group Standing with Giants will place 1,475 handmade silhouettes at the memorial to mark the number of servicemen who died on D-Day itself under British command.
Hey, look at that. Give it a wiggle head, get your toes on it. So that's the first one up then. Do they all look the same?
No, we've got 11 different designs, all representing different groups that came up the beaches on that particular day.
You don't want to leave anyone out.
Well, no, we were always told, apparently we've left out Frogman.
Oh, no. Do you know, my great uncle was a stretcher bearer on D-Day. You know, it's amazing, isn't it? Everyone's got their
And did you meet
stories.
your great uncle?
No, I didn't. And if I'm honest with you, my understanding and the facts that I've got from family are quite sparse. But you know, standing here with you, looking out across the beach that he would have been helping on, I'm certainly going to go back and find out more about it.
Because everyone played their role, and the stretcher bearers and the nurses, I mean, they were witnessing horror continuously. Just continuously, and you know, it was just so hard for them. And because of that, we've also designed 2 nurses. There were 2 nurses on one of the boats that hit a mine and they got blown up and killed. So we've actually brought with us 2 giant nurses, laser cut in steel, to represent the nurses and the ladies that took part and that worked so hard behind the scenes.
I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words.
Café Gondry was the first French home to be liberated on D-Day.
So good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
It's still run by the same family, and I'm meeting Arlette, who was just 4 years old in 1944.
But what a cafe. I mean, look around. There seems to be so many bits of memorabilia. It seems like everybody wants to share things with you.
That's absolutely right. They want to come in because it's a house, a little house for the surface, that has lived history. We were woken up or half asleep by tremendous crashing noise and then different movements around the house. And then suddenly the shutter from our dining room was being forced open and window panes were being broken, and we heard footsteps above our head. We thought the Germans had come in to get us. But fortunately, Daddy left us for a short time, walked up the little steps, and was faced by soldiers saying to Daddy, "It's all right, we've arrived, we're British." So he bought them in the cellar, and naturally I was very frightened. So I went to hide behind the barrels, but then one of them took some chocolate out of his jacket with some biscuits. And so I came forward. Mummy started kissing them. And then after that, Daddy said, "It's all for you, this house." And opened the door, and by then casualties were brought in. I want to say an enormous thank you to all those who have taken part. It was a team effort. Here it's the British, but within the British Army there were other nationalities that were trained together. And this is to be commemorated for the 80th anniversary.
And I can see you mean that as well. I can see you mean that from the bottom of your heart.
D-Day didn't end World War II, but it was the beginning of the end. And there were still dark days ahead, and many more lives would be lost on all sides. The final stop on my journey through time is the German war graves at Le Combe. Above the cemetery is a statue of a mother and father. It was placed there to watch over the sons that are buried below. History isn't just about buildings and museum pieces, it's about people. When you come to somewhere like Normandy and see the places where it all happened, you start to realise that every name on a stone or in a textbook is a real person, and that offers you a perspective like no other.